Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Do you want to stop doing this? I mean, this is the wrong G. Like, who uses 1, 2, and 3? Anybody? Okay, a lot of you are doing it. I get it. Stop now. Let's do this a new way, a better way, the correct way, using fingers 2, 3, and 4. So why is my way better than what the books say? Well, the books used to actually say use fingers 2, 3, and 4. And then somebody got some idea in their head, spread the word around to a lot of other companies doing chord charts and whatnot, and thought, hey, hey, you want to really mess people up? We'll rewrite it as 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3 is a screw up chord of a G. Now, it's still a G, even if you do it as 2, 3, 4. Sounds exactly the same. There is no difference in the sound. What there is a difference in is whether or not you're going to be a good player or a really crappy one. Okay? Or you might be a mediocre player someday, you know, but you're always going to run into some problems doing the 1, 2, 3. One of those problems is when you play songs that are actually in the key of G, or within a key where you do actually have a G and a G sus involved, or a G and a G7. It's going to be a problem, or even just a G alone in that song somewhere can throw you off. Because, you know, key signatures are kind of weird when it comes to theory. You know, they say, okay, well, this is the keys, A, B, C, D, F, G, blah, okay, these are the principal chords, these are the minor relatives that you can use within each key. Well, that's bogus. That's theory. And theory is meant to have rules that are meant to be broken. Because we have seen it ourselves, and I'm sure if you haven't, figure it out, do the math, check your own charts against your songs, you will find that some chords have been pulled from other key signatures within a song, and it had to be done as such because of the words that are in the song and how that song is played and sung. They had to throw in that chord that necessarily wouldn't be part of that particular key signature, okay? But that's a little bit of theory for you, and yeah. So, with this 1, 2, 3, why is this wrong? It used to be right. They used to write it as 2, 3, and 4, but they changed it, right? Why is this wrong, though? Well, because let's say we want to go from a G to a G7. It's slow. It's a lot of movement. It's like, that takes time. That takes extra energy. That takes more focusing on what's going on down here instead of focusing on what you're supposed to be doing, right? And let's try a G to a G sus, okay? It's hard to do it accurately. And this is where you're going to fight. You're going to struggle. You're going to have a hard time learning a song because there's a G and a G sus. One of the songs that we do in church, and it's not just a church song, there's other songs that do this too. We've got this kind of a thing going on. So that's going between a G and a G sus. Okay? Now this is easy if you use 2, 3, and 4. I can even get to my G7. But if we do it this way, it's a lot of extra movement, a lot of extra time, and a lot of screwing up. And by the time you do actually maybe get the hang of it where it's workable, that could be months down the road or longer for one song that you could have learned in a couple of hours to maybe a weekend as opposed to maybe a year down the road. Okay? So why torture yourself? Besides which, I have seen this happen a lot. Okay? Now, YouTube, granted, it's no place to learn how to play guitar. Okay? I mean, I'm only doing these lessons because I'm hopefully going to be able to help you in a sense. Okay? I'm not going to answer your questions as, is my curvature correct? No, I can't answer that. I don't freaking know. I can't see you. This was a pre-recorded video. Okay? How do you do this chord? Well, that means I got to do a video. Okay? Which is fine. I don't mind doing videos. You want to request a video? Sure. Okay? And if I can do it, I'll do it. That's kind of my motto in life, right? So, but when it comes to learning guitar, you have to have proper curvature. You have to have proper fingerings, right? And some guys are like, well, if it sounds good, it doesn't matter if it's the same way written in the sheet. Well, actually, it does, because there's a reason why they write it in the sheet the way they do with the right fingerings, because that's the right way to do it, and it gets you to other chords correctly and quickly and accurately, and you sound much better. So if you want to stay a chhord, go ahead. Keep doing what you're doing now. Otherwise, learn how to play guitar the right way. Use the right fingers where you're supposed to. You'll be fine. It's kind of like bar chords, right? A lot of people hate bar chords. A lot of extra pressure. Well, it depends on the guitar, really, and its setup. So the lower your strings are to the fretboard, the better it is and easier it is to do any chords, let alone bar chords, nice and clean throughout the entire neck. Okay, this has a slightly higher action on it than what I personally would prefer. Okay, but I also know the limitations of this guitar and how much I can lower it and where I can lower it to, which is pretty much not very much. Not enough to get me to where I want to be, but I love the guitar. I love how it plays and sounds. And yes, I've got enough power in my fingers that I can do the bar chords very cleanly. So I'm not going to worry about that or cry over spilt nickel over about it, okay? It's a waste of time. I love the guitar. So, but I could lower it a bit more, and I would be a little bit that much more to the good on that one. But I just haven't also gotten around to it either. I got too many other projects on the go, so hey, it can stay. But with this G chord thing, man, I'm telling you, you've been taught wrong. If you were taught 1, 2, 3, that is the wrong way. If you're learning from books, the books are now all saying 1, 2, 3. They used to say 2, 3, 4. Chord charts, like the one behind me on the wall. These are chord charts. I recommend this chart to all my students to pick up one of these chord charts because they're very helpful, except for one chord. And of all the chords I've come across, of all the chords I've memorized, the basic 3-fingered G chord in the basic position is the only one I've seen them screw with over the last 40 plus years of me playing guitar, knowing what I'm doing. Keep in mind, I've been playing guitar since I was like a little wee gaffer. I just didn't take lessons until I was 14. Okay, so I did have some good foundation in guitar, at least I had it made in the shade pretty much for strumming. And power smashing. I just lacked the ability to know what chords were which that I was actually playing, but I also played stuff that my teacher's like, you don't know how to play. That sounds horrible. It's like, yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I was doing that. He's like, no. Let's teach you how to play guitar right. Then we'll get stuff like that. Anyways. So the G chord is a very important chord because it's used a lot in a lot of songs, okay? And you're going to want to play a lot of those songs, okay? If you want to play Semisonic, Closing Time, that's a song that's in the key of G, and it uses G, E, A minor, C, and it uses a basic G. Now, the way he plays the song, he does have more like a power chord version part of this in the song, and then he switches to basic chords. I play it all with basic chords straight through because it sounds just as good to me, and it's the same chords regardless, just the voicing is slightly changed when you're not doing, all that bar chord or power chord version of it. But think of it this way, when you're playing it on an acoustic by yourself, if you've got a really good, properly set up acoustic and you've got lots of power in your hands, you can actually play that song very authentically on pretty much any acoustic guitar. Is going to sound fantastic. Okay, but if you don't know those type of chords yet and you just know the basics, leave it in basics. That's how I teach my students. Learn the basics first, get the song down. Then if you want to experiment later, when we do start teaching you those more advanced chords, okay, then play it the authentic way. And that's just one song. A song like Proud Mary, right, it's a lot of G. Now, doing this transition from G to D to E minor, it can still slow you down a bit. So, if you play it the right way, it's a lot easier and it flows better. Where because you're not having to take that time, that extra time to make sure that you're repositioned this way. You can just go from the E to here. Same as you go G, C, F, G, F, A minor, G, G sus, G7, okay? And you gotta try and like, and to get to that G, it's so much extra work. Why? Why punish yourself, right? So if you're learning the G chord the correct way to start with 2, 3, and 4, that's better. And it leaves this finger open, leaves your index finger open. So you can go G, G sus, instant. You're not even lifting any fingers off. You're just doing this one on and off. Pinky a little bit when you're going to do a G7, obviously. Or you can add it in on the string above, on the B string on the 3rd fret. You can lift the pinky off and open up that G sus a bit. A little differently, right? But G, C. Little movements. So stop doing the G the wrong way. Start doing it the right way with 2, 3, and 4. So, in case you haven't really noticed, because I know it's hard to see the fretboard, it's going to end up being 2nd finger, 2nd fret A string, 3rd finger, 3rd fret, low E string, so the top one, okay? And your bottom E string is going to be your pinky on the 3rd fret, known as your 4th finger. Because your fingers are only ever labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. Because your thumb is not classed as a finger even by the universe. It's a thumb. You have 4 fingers and you have 1 thumb. Okay? So, but you do have 10 toes, so that's okay. So start doing the G the right way. You'll become a better guitar player quicker. You'll have less frustration trying to learn songs, especially ones that have a lot of G's in them, of different G's. You're going to definitely have it made in the shade. Other G's that you can do this, I call it the busker thing. I have it on my channel, the busker chords, or secret of the buskers. Anyways, so you take your pinky, lay it down here on the bottom E, on the 3rd, take 3rd fret B string with your 3rd finger, and then you put your 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the E, 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A. There's a G for you, that's a different G. You can go G to C to F to A to E. Right? So you can do something like. Better guitar player faster, and you won't give up so easily. A lot of people give up if they're taught the wrong things. And yes, unfortunately, I do have to call out all the companies with chord charts that have the G listed as 1, 2, 3 and say that they are wrong. And I don't know why they made the change. It was stupid, it is clumsy, it is awkward, it is time consuming, it slows you down, and it makes you suck for years instead of becoming a great guitar player. Faster, you become a mediocre player slower. Okay? So, anyways, that's what I got for you on this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll definitely catch you on the next one. See ya.